Room light, before I lose it, there's a B1B training exercise over the UK. I don't want to lose track of it. It's coming up. A B1B. Right there. Just saying. There's a B1B. Looks like some type of training exercise. It's coming up as NA. There you go. That's just a stock photo, but it's in the air right now. Looks like it's heading toward Ireland. We have a B1B. A training exercise, but still, it's a B1B. It's doing tests, there's no doubt. It's doing a training exercise of some kind. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's showing, its transponder is showing. Yeah, it's NA. But it's there. It's not like we can say it's not there. 006, what's happening? And Eugene and Chris. Isn't that I don't know if it was that one that I seen in Hill Base in Utah. It might have been. I was underneath it. That thing was huge. I think it was the B1B. I would have to look at pictures that I took. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's training. So let's not get carried away. It's training. But I found that interesting looking this morning. Because, you know, they show like the flights that people are paying attention to, like here. And what the hell is this? Oh, okay. I guess, I mean, why are people following that? I find more interest following this. To me, a B1B training? Good morning, Marianne. They're still working on the final details for the Strait. Oman and Iran, at least. That's what I read this morning. Whatever that means. Whatever that means. Well, I know the Saudi resistance fighters got hit bad this morning. And I think it was in Yemen. Oh my God. Bad. So that's what's been making the news this morning. We have a heat warning here. I don't know what the hell's going on lately with this. I'm getting multiple sources on camera, which I cannot figure out what the hell is going on again. It keeps doing that. Maybe I need to slide this above. There we go. OBS is funny sometimes when it updates. It messes me up. But yeah, B1B. What's up, Gitmo? I would not doubt it, but it could have his transponder off, or maybe it's just up by itself. I don't know. We could see if there's more information about that. But right now, they seem to have something. Oh my God, I can't show that. It's graphic. So, a German court has sentenced a 25-year-old Afghan man to life in prison after last year's car ramming attack in Munich. But let me just see what the hell is going on here. So, sites and camps, forces loyal to Saudi Arabia as a result of being targeted by Yemeni forces. So something happened there. What the hell? So something's definitely going down in Yemen, right here. I don't know. Let me get the video. What? That's old. That can't be. Oh, that's some weird shit that just happened. Hold on. Because I don't want to. I gotta make sure the video. So allegedly, this happened. Saudi-backed forces. Oh, I keep making a mistake. So the Houthis allegedly struck a camp and sites. Let's call it Saudi-backed rebels. That's what they're putting out there. Thank you. Thank you. Well, let's see something, because I'm seeing some other weird shit in the background. They're pushing the president out of Iran. They're trying to force him out. So see, this was 3 minutes ago. So the people that support the regime are threatening him. And it's not surprising. Ghalibaf and those players that are dealing with the United States, well, he made a comment that they're not liking. The president of Iran drew angry reactions from Iranians after rejecting higher estimates of those killed in Iran's January protests, calling those who cite those figures traitors. So those sitting abroad say 30, 40,000 were killed are dishonorable and traitors. So people are fucking pissed. The people against the regime. But he's under pressure from the regime itself too. Look. Now, Iran International is an anti-regime media outlet. He's definitely the IRGC puppet. We know that, Amir. So is Ghalibaf and so are the rest of them. We know that. But it's good to see this. Iranians turn on his comments over the death toll. It's like he's trying to diminish the numbers. But remember, this is disgraceful. Stop lying and have some shame. Your hands are stained with the blood of tens of thousands of Iranian protesters. Curse all of you killers and the remaining figures of the IRG, Islamic Republic. So they're in, he's trying to be in denial of what happened. And, the people are making statements. Even if it was 3,000, you still slaughtered every single one of them. You were killed. You should answer for every single one of them. So these are people that wrote in. So even by your own account, 3,000 people were killed. That's acceptable. So people are pissed. And I don't do you blame them? So this is Iran International. But he's also under pressure from within, from the IRGC and the hardliners. It's not just the people of Iran that are against the regime. It's also, what is he putting here? Israel did one hell of an airstrike in southern Lebanon. Wow. But I'll get to the other part in a second. Look at this. That's a lot of smoke. And they were told to evacuate that area yesterday. I don't know if that was a detonation or a strike. Oh, and did I say that Kim Jong-un might try to get attention by launching a ballistic missile yesterday morning? Well, he did. What is this? Some fortune cookie shit? I have a crystal ball in front of me. Well, it may have happened. An object that may be a ballistic missile has been launched from North Korea. This was early this morning. What the hell? That's crazy. That is crazy. The object no longer affects the surrounding areas of Japan. And maybe that's why when I was watching The Enforcer yesterday, they were talking about the U-2 spy planes flying around there because they detected something was about to happen from North Korea. That's crazy. So this happened. And I said that yesterday morning. Watch Kim Jong Fatty try to get attention. I called it. I did. That's crazy. Let me go to Shin. Nothing on Shin. Okay. Craziness. Oh, here, look. Here's one. And we've mentioned this before too. They're saying that the cardboard mouse is worse than his father. Iran's supreme leader, the new mouse, holds views much more hardline than those of his father and behaves much more harshly, a senior cleric who has known him for 40 years has claimed. A Khomeini family relative by marriage said he had held private meetings with the mouse over the years and also predicted that the current president of Iran, would not survive its full term. The hardliners want him out. So this is what he said. I know. They should all be on the list, no? So that as well. So he's probably on a very short. He's not gonna last. The hardliners want him out, and of course the people of Iran against the regime want him out, to say the least. So his time it's ticking for him. He ain't got much time. Either way. So 2 hours ago, Iran International posted this. Iran and Oman are close to finalizing an agreement on new shipping arrangements in the Strait of Hormuz after almost a month, more than a month of talks, an Iranian parliamentary official said on Thursday. The spokesman for Parliament's presiding board said the proposed statement included changes to shipping routes through the strait. What are the changes to shipping routes? Gherdazi said the talks have been held only between Tehran and Muscat and that the U.S. has not been allowed to participate. He said the negotiations showed Washington had realized it could not reopen the strait by military means. For, quote, for the Islamic Republic, sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz is even more important than the nuclear issue. This is how they're really making a stand about the strait. It's even more than the nuclear issue. Any reopening must be conditioned on all full implementation of U.S. commitments. He added, warning that any erosion of what he describes as Iran's sovereignty over the strait could threaten its other vital interests. So, allegedly, they're close to finalizing an agreement. And this was today. Take that for what it's worth. So, who God only knows. All Opinion says that the mother of all bombs was not mass produced. Read that they only made 15 or 20 and we have used some. So, yeah. So, yeah, that you're talking about Amir, about Armin's chat, like when he has all the people on. Eugene's gonna join. You curious to join, Eugene? You better behave. Good behavior. I'd like to see that for myself. Eugene in Armin's big chat thing that he does. I personally don't like those. When there's 20 people on there or 10 people, it's a clutterfuck. Personally, I'm not a fan of those. But there are people that do like that. Personally, even when I'm doing other stuff, to me, even it's logistically, I say 4 people tops, maybe 6, maybe, in a situation when you're having that kind of thing, because it just becomes a clutterfuck. People cutting, talking over. I'm not a fan of those. That's just me, though. I'm going to do some comedic character with a script. Oh, God, Eugene. Amir, do you see what he's ready to do? You might want to give Armin some heads up. I'm kidding. Anyway. They're just going over this Yemen thing. They won't stop. That's all they're going to talk about this morning is what happened. Yeah, so we're all waiting. Oh my God, Amir. You're going to instigate Eugene now? Is that wise? What's up, Dehydrated? There's also a tanker that was leaking oil next to Oman. Estimated 600 square kilometers spill. Anyway, it's still interesting. It's turning back now. The B1B on a training exercise near the UK. Interesting. Just a training exercise, but it's up. I mean, I see one. I don't see another. I don't see any other NAs. So it might be by itself. If the other one might have another one in the air, but it's turned off. I don't know. But I think that might be the only one in the air. I can't confirm that. But yeah, that's what we got going on. Right there. Good morning, Dehydrated. No, I mean, how long does the president wait this out? I mean, how much is his patience going to be taken to extreme where he's got to act? I mean, I don't know. I ain't going to sit here and try to predict anything. Not, no way. Not the way things have been. Overlord 2. The drone is here. The Triton. There have been quite a bit. I've been watching this the last few days. A lot of C-17s moving in and out of the area. Quite a bit, actually. Not too. I mean, a lot could be obviously off too, the transponder, so hard to tell what exactly is going on. What is that? So there's the Overlord. Lord, maybe it's coming or taking off. Oh no, it's been going for a while. Looks like it's going back over the med. So that's the Triton. But you'll see the C-17s. That's a Clipper. They were around. I'm not seeing too many of them now. There was a ton of them coming in. A little glitchy this morning. To be honest, this is being a little glitchy this morning. What the hell is that? Oh, AWAC. Why was it in that color? Is there something going on with it? It's red. Is there an emergency? Oh shit. There goes that. That one's coming back. That might be a super galaxy. That's a Hercules. I knew it was bigger. So really not that much, except for that one we've been watching. Well, I've been watching. The B1B doing a training exercise. That's... Yeah, this is a little glitchy today. Took off from Fairford. It's an emergency when it's ready, right? But it just disappears, so I don't know. Yeah, yeah, right. Wasn't it supposed to be open yesterday or the day before, Tuesday, right? It was supposed to be open yesterday, Wednesday. I don't know what's going on right now. Iran is purposely delaying it with Oman just to piss off the president. That's all it is. And I want to see the details. I mean, if they have total control of the movement in the Strait, it makes sense if they allow certain tankers to come in through the Iran way. They're already allowing who they want to come in, because the same ships have to come out the Oman way, but Oman has to let Iran know what the ships are, and they have to give their final blessing that they can go through. What kind of bullshit is that? Iran is going to control the Strait. For now, at least. If that's true. Morning from UK. Is a YouTube channel in UK who watches the American base. Worth the watch. Enjoying the channel. You're not a mod. I'm going to put that link. Ted Coningsby. Let me look that up. I'll put the link in chat. So this is what someone in the UK recommended. Here's the link. Here's the channel. I don't want to get in trouble. Ted Coningsby. Oi, oi. So he's got a live thing going on right now. I don't want to get in trouble. So, but yeah, I love air shows. I love all this. I definitely am going to be interested in watching. I'm subscribing right now. Let's see what he's got going on, but I don't want to show it. I'll get in trouble. So this is live. Oh, this is going to be cool. This is going to be cool. I've been watching this. You've been watching that? So thank you for putting that in there. Thank you for putting that in chat. You guys, I can't play because I'll get in trouble, but I'm just sharing it. This looks so cool. I'm definitely going to be watching that. So let's see. I should be watching it on the side. That is so cool. So you're familiar with this, Chris? That's pretty cool stuff. What the hell? Could it be that quiet? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. There's got to be more tankers and stuff out there. It can't be like that right now. It's empty. There's one tanker. I mean, what? I don't believe that. Look how quiet it is. That can't be. That just cannot be that quiet. I don't believe that. You gotta do a refresh. I'm not. That's weird. Unless, of course, a lot of them are off, but that's the quietest I've ever seen it in like a month. Wow. Just saying. He shows everything. My volume's high. I don't know, Bong. I can raise it up a little if you want. Oh, I was in team. I got to do something. It could be my end. Because I was helping someone yesterday. And it automatically messes up my system. Yep, it is low on my end. A little bit. Should be better now. Okay, good. There are E3s up. All up in you. I believe this one was. No, not that one. No, wrong. It was the red one. But then it turned its transponder off. It might be having an emergency near here. It was around there, but then it turned off. It's still interesting to see a B1B up in the air. Looks like more tankers are en route. Or doing something. But basically, it's quiet. Too quiet. It's too quiet. And so is the president. He's pretty quiet. I still can't get over how quiet this is. Usually they had the transponders with the tankers on, or Poseidons, or even drones. That's quiet. It's a good question, Diesel. Good question. That's in near the UK. It's actually right there off the coast. It took off from the UK. And it's just flying around out there. So, I mean, I wonder what how they're gonna react to that. They've been saying bullshit. Oh, if you're launching from the UK, you're a target, threatening the UK. So, I mean, that's well within range, obviously. It's just a training exercise. Your radar shows a lot more. Yeah, I'm wondering if I'm having a glitch protocol. I'm wondering that. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't look right to me. It doesn't. It just doesn't. Maybe I'm having a glitch. Because that shit doesn't make sense. I have the gold version of Flight Radar. It just might be having a glitch on my end right now. Which I'm not going to dwell on this right now. Yeah, it's weird. Anyway. I know why we did it. In my opinion, moving all of our assets from all our Middle East bases to Israel is asking for trouble. Make it easier to take them all out if things go south with Iran. I don't know if I would want all my stuff in one spot either. Though, I don't know, he also does lessons on the planes. It's like a class. I'm just waiting to see when this word is going to come out about the strait itself. Right now, it's so quiet. Last night or early this morning, the president did put out a post, and it was this: the U.S. has massive amounts of munitions, especially of certain types. Additionally, large amounts are being manufactured and shipped to the U.S. as needed. Defense companies are building the largest number of plants and factories in our country's history. Well, that takes time to build them and get them going. The leakers of these treasonous statements are being hunted down. Long-term jail sentences will be sought. President DJT. So, there you go. But I don't get that. The U.S. has massive amounts of munitions. We do. We have all kinds of munitions. Especially of certain types. That's true. But are we low on certain types and we're good on other types? Additionally, large amounts are being manufactured and shipped to the U.S. What do you mean? Additionally, large amounts are being manufactured and shipped to the U.S. as needed? Where are they coming from? I'm a little confused with that. Defense companies are building the largest number of plants and factories in our country's history. Japan? Is that where it's coming from, Beam? Is that what's going on? We're getting it from Japan? Really? Japan produces a lot of our air defense missiles, if I recall correctly. Holy shit, I did not know that. I'm going to look this up. Oh, look at this. Interesting. Bean, you're onto it. They've been building their own. Look at that. Look at this. Is an old article from over a year ago. Look at that. Oh, around 10. But that was in 2024. The production's probably being ramped up. Look at that. That might be something we're not. 4 million a missile. Interesting. I did not know that they were making Patriots in Japan. Did not know that. That could be a little of a game changer, right? Bong says, what did Bong say? I saw something. Bong said something. Not all our weapons are made in the USA. Robbing from Peter to PayPal, also with munitions from other theaters. That was done from, like, I think Germany. I don't think that's happening now. A good chunk of our munitions are shared via all of NATO and the Pacific Pact, so we rely on them and ourselves. We have endless supply of JDAMs. What's up, Dwayne? Exactly why China wants Taiwan and Japan so bad. We just signed a new pact with the Japanese over air defense missiles, Golden Dome mainly. It's the very precise munitions that we're running low, yeah. That too. It's not just the Patriots. It's the long range, precise munitions. Patriots is one thing, like you just said, all up in you. That's a whole different area. So it's serious. If, if true. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to believe sources say, a media says. I'm not going to believe that. A source tells CNN. Who's the source? A leaker? If so, criminal. That's classified. Criminal. Not good. Especially that the enemy watches everything. It's just not good. They are just talking nonsense this morning. It is so quiet on the platforms, social media. All they're talking about, Alexa, stop. All they're talking about is what happened in Yemen. A statement from the Yemeni armed forces will be released at exactly 5:30 p.m. shortly. Like, who gives a F? With that guy that goes, that guy with the glasses from the Houthis? Alexa, stop! It's so annoying. They're repeating it here. I don't care. Good morning, Tammy and Teeth of God. I'm quietly watching. Just want to say good morning. You don't ever have to call me sir. Bill will do. I'm just catching up to what you... Yeah, the Yemeni Yeller. Yes, Diesel. I can't stand that, dude. I'm sorry. For what's up, Moses? For a range. A lot of reasons. So we wait. Again, Thursday. Will the Strait be opened by Iran and Oman? Will all ships be allowed to move freely? Who's going to remove the mines? And they've already been attacking tankers near Oman. Another thing happened last night. It's just insane. Like, it's crazy, really. One after the other, it hasn't stopped. And have you seen any U.S. response to it? Crickets. Which that concerns me in itself. I'm going to see if they posted it. Shin probably did. Okay, let's see. Oh shit, Shin is talking about that B1B. He put it out a while ago. Her second training flight of today. While her planned wingman, another B1B, did not end up flying. Now she's back up again as Owlet. Well, I see NA. Interesting. Yeah, I know that. I want to see about, yeah, let's see these. 6 hours ago, right here. When was this one issued? That was the one maybe it looks like the same one? Wait a minute. Time reported 5/8/1918. It's the same one. Thought so. So this is Shin. This was another one that happened. That was Yemen. So there's a lot of. This is another one. That's the Saudi tanker they went after near Yemen. So they don't stop. They just don't fucking stop. Really. They don't stop. CENTCOM. Well, this would be nice for Navy Mount, you know. Her son is on that ship, on that carrier. God bless them all. There you go. Just doing their duty, professionally, whatever duty it is. I mean, of course, they are standing by and prepared. It is way too quiet. I do not watch him. I do not watch him. I know who you're talking about. But I don't like that, you know, just because I don't like watching that doesn't mean other people don't enjoy it, you know. Like I watch Matt Tardio speak the truth, veteran. Of course, Tusi, the usual ones. So I sound like I could sit here all day and watch all these different podcasters, you know? But what do you think about them, Teeth of God? What's up, Thomas? What is your opinion on? I don't like to bring up names because I'm not here to put anyone down or, you know. It seems anti-American vibe to me. You know what I mean? I just get that vibe. I'm not with that vibe. But that's just me. Maybe I haven't given it enough time to watch, you know? Really? See, I never really gave him the time. Like, I watched it. Maybe I need to pay more mind to it. I never gave it its fair shot to watch. So I'm being a little unfair. Maybe I should sit down and actually just watch it and see. You know? So, I mean, like you said, it's a more balanced approach to the situation. Because biasness exists. I mean, I'm an American. I have a biased opinion. We all have an opinion. But I don't like the anti-American thing, vibe, you know? He has a lot of U.S. veterans on. You know. But just like anything else, if you go to legacy media, you'll have veterans on, both on Fox and CNN. and they're behind whatever the discussion is. So you'll have veterans that are more liberal and veterans that are more conservative. Some that express whatever their opinions are. So when you say he brings on veterans, these veterans may be in the same thinking, the narrative, the agenda, whatever it is. So it would be nice if they had people that think opposite, to be unbiased, but it's always people that help support whatever they're putting out there. Do you follow what I'm saying? Ben Dykes. I'm not familiar with Ben Dykes. That reports on the war. Again, we all could share our opinions and disagree. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I think, like someone is purposely putting out, I try to be as fair as possible and as objective, but I can never defend that regime and that regime to stay intact for what it's done to its people, the region, everything else. And it's just a menace to society, to the world. The ideology, the radicalization, the extremists, the jihadis. It's just not something I would support. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that do support it, especially the few million in Iran that support it for whatever reasons. Indoctrinated, brainwashed, they have something to gain. Their family members are involved in the military, IRGC, police, whatever. They're getting some type of benefit from it, But I look at the vast majority in Iran that want their freedom. They want freedom, period, where they get to decide what their future is, the choices they make, the music they listen to, whatever it is. Freedom of expression, like everything else that a lot of us, I don't know if I would say cherish. We should cherish our freedoms and be grateful to them and not allow that to slip away. But my God. Now, I'm not an Iranian. I don't know what it was like during the Shah, but I know people who were students in Iran prior to the revolution, and they said it was beautiful, friendly. The Iranian people were amazing. And, it had more of that westernized feel to it, openness. And then it all went to hell. So I hope that the people eventually get their time, their opportunity to take back their country and make it free for all, for everyone. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen. I pray as a Catholic to God that they're getting the help they need on the ground. All this munitions talk, that they're getting armed. And who knows if there'll be all kinds of things happening at once. Maybe the Kurds in Iraq dealing with Iran forces. Maybe the agencies on the ground, the Mossad, CIA, the Resistance, the Immortal Guard, and the people. I hope it happens for the people of Iran. Because if we try to cooperate and negotiate with terrorists and make a deal. It's like a deal with the devil. It's seriously, it's like signing a deal with the devil. And we're led to believe that this is something that is possible. The regime stays intact. So it's not going to be up to us to remove the regime. It's going to be up to people in Iran and other factions working to undermine the regime. I just don't see any other way. At this point. I mean, I'm just being honest. What do you guys think? You think this regime is going to fall? I'll just ask that question before. Do you yes or no? Do you think not down the line? Let me be very clear, because eventually, I would hope it falls. I'm hoping sooner rather than later. But under the present situation, with the United States' involvement with Iran, is the United States going to be part of regime change currently in Iran? That's the crux of it. And I say right now, that's not to say, like I said, there's some black operations going on that we're helping supply them on the ground, or helping the Kurds or other factions. I'm saying direct U.S. involvement. And the answer is right now, the answer would be, for me, no. I don't know what all of you think. So if it doesn't happen as a result of what's currently going on with the U.S.-Iran war or Israel getting involved, at the end of the day, if we negotiate with them and sign a deal, which I don't believe anything I just said, but at the end of the day, in fantasy land, if a deal was struck months from now with Iran about their nuclear, everything else, where does that leave the Iranian people? Stuck with that regime. So that means it's going to have to come from them. Eugene's the only one saying yes. Remember, Marco Rubio said this past weekend, I think it was, that this is not necessarily about regime change, but the change of the regime's behaviors. Right there, that should send alarm bells that this is not about regime change, because that's what they've been putting out there. This is not about regime change. It's trying to change the regime's behaviors, meaning that the regime stays, but they need to change their ways. And you're going to tell me with a straight face that Iran's going to change their ways after 48 fucking years? Are we supposed to believe that nonsense? Come on. Oh, they need to change their ways. And if anything, they're digging in even more. It looks like they're digging in even more. Remember the 4 things before this started. And I'm not even going to say the 5. I don't even want to say 5. It was nuclear, missiles. Remember the production of missiles and limiting their range of their missiles? Remember that talk? Proxy support. I don't know where the hell that went, because I don't see that happening, where they're going to cut funding. The only way you do that is you squeeze them economically and you remove the regime. They're not going to give that up. And the people of Iran. What happened? Well, the nuclear was actually like two. They could never have a nuclear weapon. We have to get their enriched uranium. Zero. Remember the word zero enrichment? That was said back in the time. Iran will not be allowed to enrich any uranium. Zero. And we're going to take what they have of the highly enriched. And again, it was also about the missile production, the proxies, and the people of Iran. All those are fails. So far to this point, every one of those have failed. The original 5 points. Remember this. This is what they started with. Fail. Still have failed on the nuclear. Failed on the proxies. I mean, it's sick. Forget about the missiles. We wiped them out, right? They're 90% wiped out. The people of Iran, oh my God. It's become about the Strait of Hormuz. That's what this has come down to. The Strait of Hormuz, and then we'll talk. All those other things went to the back. They all faded to the background. The Strait of Hormuz took the stage and is dictating what happens moving forward. And don't get me started, because I said it how many times, over and over and over and over again, how we allowed Iran to take control of the strait, and we should have done that how many times am I going to say that? So the strait became the leverage. Bottom line. We should have done everything we could to prevent that from happening. Which, again, and I'm going to say it again, April 13th, when that post was on Truth Social saying we didn't consider them a threat, the fast-moving ships, so we didn't go after them, meaning the Mosquito Fleet, which they said in reference to the blockade that they were not a threat to us. Just think about that. Who thought this? They're not a threat to us, meaning the naval blockade. So we didn't go after them. Well, aren't they a threat to the shipping in the Strait of Hormuz? Isn't the whole point is to secure the strait and not allow to get any control over the strait and use it to lay mines with the little boats and threaten shipping, let alone the drones and the missiles? That was... So we let the strait slip through the fingers. And thank God for Diesel putting that out. It's not like they weren't aware, because as Diesel put that document in yesterday, in 2019, a very thorough report was done on that threat. So it's not like they didn't know the threat existed with the Mosquito Fleet and the drones and everything else. Unless the current people in the administration didn't do their homework and realize what the threat was, which would be incompetence. So I don't have an answer how this was allowed to happen, but it did. Thus, that's where we are today. Before this happened, it's like we need to take a before and after picture. Before this happened, international waterway, no tolls, everybody's moving through, 100 ships average a day, oil is going through. Now, Iran and Oman are dictating the terms on the operation of the Strait of Hormuz. Isn't that unbelievable? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I say it's better. Iran has lost a lot of its drones and munitions. Only to what? Rebuild them? It set them back. But the threat has not been resolved. You might have dented them for a little while. It'll rear its ugly head again. I thought this was supposed to be different. I thought this was about getting rid of the regime and destroying that threat moving forward forever, or as best as possible. So it didn't make it better in that way. That's what I thought this was going to be about. Yeah, it may be better that they've got decapitated with their missile production, but they have plenty of people that are willing to help them and fund them and supply them and rebuild it. And they learned a major lesson. But it could rear its ugly head again. And they also know they need that nuclear weapon. And that's what they're talking about now. In a post, Vahidi said it. We're going to develop a nuclear weapon. Now, I don't know if that was just bluster and talk, but they know they need that nuclear weapon even more as a deterrence. So this did make this better? Oh, really, Bean? Really? That might be the way to look at the half glass full approach. It hasn't been better. The bases have been decimated. Our bases destroyed. Munition stockpile used. Loss of military service members. Casualties. The influence in the region. Strategic waterway. Bye-bye. I see a lot of cons here, not pros. The only way they claim victory right now is, we wiped out their missiles and their planes and their navy. Yeah, there's your victory lap. Enjoy it. If that's the best you can do as a victory lap, then looking at the overall picture of this situation, I guess that's an optimistic way to look at it. You know? I don't know. I don't know. But I get it, what you're saying, Bean, because they have been decimated. They've been set back. But they've been set back before. And that's based on what we believe to be. A lot of these places, we buried we covered their entry points and tunnels. We don't know what the hell they have in these missile cities that they've been preparing for decades with. We're making assumptions. If you look at some bullshit, some say they still have 60% of their missiles. Compared to how much we've used? You see that better? I don't. If true, again, I don't know what to believe. They still might have a lot of shit left in those Missile City mountains all over the country. Yet we've used over 1,000 cruise missiles and Tomahawks and precision. It cost us too. I don't know. Bases aren't that hard to rebuild, especially Fifth Fleet. Shithole. The biggest loss is the death. Well, tell that to the American taxpayer when they are here talking about their health care and all this money spent on for what? For this war? And how much it's going to cost for the bill, to foot this bill? Or the same people that said that Biden sent all our stuff over to Ukraine, and this president is depleting our stockpile? And they better rebuild it fast, because the next administration is going to have to deal with this too. Are we going to hear that? No? The same way it was said about Biden with Ukraine. Look what he did over there, using all our stuff. For what? We haven't even gotten to the table to talk about their nuclear. So far, nothing's been accomplished. We're here to talk, to get them to the table to discuss the nuclear because it's all about the nuclear, right? Good luck with that. So I don't see anything right now that benefits anything. Unless we were to finish the job and get the regime removed, then we're talking. Then we're talking about real change for everyone in the region, geopolitically, unbelievably. But that's not going to happen. That's why I asked the question, do you think there will be regime change? I thought at the beginning this was about regime change. Help is on the way. Take to the streets. Take back your institutions. I thought this was about regime change. I know for Israel, it is about regime change. That narrative changed from the 4 to 6 week to the 6, whatever. That changed. So I don't know. I honestly want to see us finish the job somehow, some way. I don't know how. Easier said than done. But just think of the real difference. That's what I was led to believe. That this was going to be different from all the other administrations. He was going to remove the regime from Iran. I really thought that's what I was led to believe. I thought that was what this was about. And about the Iranian people. And not just about the Iranian people, but about the proxy support, drying that up, the funding for it. Maybe creating more stability and peace in the region, where Israel can have better relations with the other countries in the area, including Iran. Right now, I'm not optimistic about that. Maybe I was misled, or I misled myself believing that. Maybe I misled myself. And I would like to know what a lot of Iranians feel about that, how they feel about it from the get-go, and what they think right now. So all I can do is pray for those people, because they're suffering. They suffered before this started. Their economy was in collapse before this even started. Water shortages, everything. Can't even imagine. I don't know. You know, it's complex. That's a good question, Moses, that Diesel's asking. I honestly think Israel will act unilaterally if they have to against Iran. I don't think anybody's going to stop Israel from, if they see something, they're going to do something. It's their sovereignty. The question is, will the U.S. come to assistance if they do? If a deal, let's just say the United States is in phase 2 with Iran, talking at the tables now. Phase 2. That they're actually negotiating actual details of any endgame deal. So we're sitting with the Iranians in these really in-depth, specific talks. That's where the hard work comes involved. That hasn't even happened yet. When they actually sit down, whether it's indirect, mediators, whatever the hell, but at some point, that's what they're hoping to get to phase 2. To actually sit down and go over everything with Iran in detail. Israel strikes Iran. What do you think the president's reaction is going to be? He's going to call Bibi again. What the fuck did you just do? You just fucked up my negotiations with Iran. We told you not to do this, but you did it. You're on your own. I could see the president doing that. I honestly could see the president doing that. Because he's concerned about the deal. Now you're ruining his deal. Remember, his deal. I'm just saying, I could see that happening. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I could see that as a possibility. Stock price market down and oil prices inching up today. That's because they thought that the Strait was going to be open yesterday or Tuesday, and now it's still, God only knows, there's a little questioning about what's going on right now. That's why the market's reacting like that. It's not going to move it much. We still have to wait to see how this plays out. They're just like, they don't know. We were told Tuesday. We were told what yesterday. It's now Thursday. What happened? That's just their little hissy little shit that they do. Moses says we need to go to all-out war against Iran without the United States. And I'm with Bean on that. I have to say, you attack Iran. Iran is not just going after Israel, but they're going to say, you, President Trump, you couldn't control your lapdog Bibi from attacking, well, you're going to pay too. And so is everybody else in the region. And Iran will act preemptively too. So I don't know. Yeah, that would definitely, like Bean said, you could throw that alliance away. I don't know. And not only that, Bean, he said something to the effect to Bibi, allegedly. What did he say? Are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking stupid? Something like that, remember? Allegedly. Although they denied. Bong says it's like we and Basin do the negotiating. It'd be a huge mistake, but as the president wishes. At this point, Trump has lost a lot of credibility, and our allies are going to wonder if we even had the capability of protecting them. Thomas, you know that the EU and NATO know that they have to do things for themselves. You know that. They already know. NATO is preparing themselves, knowingly doing things that the U.S. may not be there for NATO. This is not new. They already know, those countries already know they cannot rely on the United States. They already know this. They might say one thing publicly, but they know. They're doing their best to prepare for themselves. You know that. Because you can't. And this goes back to the first term with his NATO. And don't get me wrong, they all need to put their fair share in. There's no doubt about that. But when NATO countries started to hear that, oh, he's going to pull out of NATO, you don't think they've been preparing for a decade since then, knowing that could be the case and that they can't depend on the president if something were to happen to be there for NATO? They're not shocked or surprised by it. I'm sure they've been preparing for that outcome. I would think they do. You know? Diesel thinks that Iran will strike Israel once again. It's not in their best interests. They're playing the long game. Delay. Play the United States with these negotiations. Get what they can out of it. Whether it's money, sanctions relief, whatever it is. Rebuilding, more Chinese, Russian supplies, help. That would be stupid on their part to hit Israel. Stupid. They have nothing to gain from that. Then you just turn the United States against you. They want the United States to turn against Israel, not the other way around. They want the U.S. to turn on Israel. That would be beneficial to Iran. They're not going to play that game. I mean, I don't see it. What's going on in here now? Just this is all in my opinion. I'm sure you guys disagree, but Israel has more complaints rather than the other way around. Who was it? I lost what Bong is saying. Yeah, I'm not so sure what the German investigation. It's probably, like I said, a local person with those drones, but with some backing, support. That's why we got to be careful here with these people with drones. A lot of people do some crazy shit. I'm sure they're gonna try to link Russia to this. I ain't buying that yet. Iran has superiority right now. They won't strike first. I don't know about superiority. I think Iran thinks they have some type of leverage and they're emboldened and they're in a certain power of position here, which I don't know. That's just little cray-cray, but that might be what they're running through their head. But at the end of the day, they keep calling the president's bluff by pushing and pushing and pushing. They're going to run to the hills and run to the bunkers because at some point he's going to act. They keep pushing and pushing and pushing him because that's what they're doing. They're testing his resolve. They're calling his bluffs. They're actually mocking him for it. They're deeming it as a weakness. Careful. This ain't over. Careful. That I will say. Keep doing the talking. Keep doing all the chattering and laughing and enjoying it. You won't be laughing. And I hate to say this because he did say it, and I know a lot of people are taking that it word. I don't even think they're worried about Russia. I don't know if the president would use tactical nukes, low yield. I'm not kidding. You guys will say, oh, that's crazy, Bill. It opens up a can of worms and Pandora's box and all this shit, Russia. I wouldn't take any cards out of the president's hands. I'll tell you that right now. I would not at all. I would not underestimate. I know I'm not all about nukes either. I'm not saying he's gonna. But I don't know. No, he's not crying wolf. The president, his pattern, his character has always been apply as much pressure and people will cave. That's kind of, even in business, it's like the art of the deal. Applying the pressure to the opposition. So at some point they cave. And I think by his rhetoric and what he says, he thinks that the threat alone of wiping out power plants, Stone Age, and all this should really seriously make Iran consider that I'm not just saying this threat, I'm just holding back. I mean, I would not take what he says lightly if I'm an Iranian official, whoever. You have to understand, too, again, this is the same thing. He has to think about our military personnel. He has to think about our country, the economic effects of war, the political scope. There's a lot involved. And the region, because it can definitely widen the conflict. Like, really light the whole freaking place on fire. Literally. There's a lot to consider here. So he's hesitant from taking that next major step because he knows once he does, there's no going back. He's being hesitant because he knows it's going to end up I hate to say it, a lot of people are going to die. That's the reality. A lot of people are going to die. I don't know if people may understand. Nuke isn't the way either. I don't agree, Amir. I agree with you. I am not for nukes at all. Make that clear. I am not. All I'm saying is, if you were in that position and you know what it's going to take that next step, that's a lot. That's a lot. There's a lot at stake. And he has to make that decision. And he's going to be accountable for that decision forever. Good or bad. And again, the consequences of that decision moving forward. Because like I said, once you tip that domino, it's done. It's going to set it off. So, like I always say this, again, I'm not making excuses. Put yourself in his shoes right now. What would you do? Knowing you have to look out for the best interest of, as President of the United States, for the United States interests. The people, the military. I'd be very fucking hesitant too. And I'm being honest. I mean, I can't imagine if I was in that position to make that decision that's going to affect millions, if not billions of people, potentially. It's so easy, like I say, to be an armchair quarterback and criticize coulda, shoulda, woulda, all this, on anything. Anytime. But to make that decision as commander-in-chief, because he is the ultimate one that makes that decision. And it's not just about that. He has to think about communicating with others in the area, like Bibi or MBS or any of the other people in the region, because he has to consider their concerns. That's also, as president, he has to, foreign policy, he has to understand what's at risk for them as an ally. And the threat to their countries and what it's going to cost them, not just financially, but civilian as well. I mean, this is, and again, I'm not making excuses, I'm just putting it out there. And yes, they always use the human shield component. They've been doing that with their proxies for decades. I mean, we know that. They hide amongst the civilians. They live amongst heavily populated areas so that we don't target it. And if we do, They're going to say thousands of civilians were killed by American strikes. It's crazy. Intel Frog put together an interesting article. I'll let you share that, Diesel. I'm not saying there won't be casualties, but what bomb will be the nuclear bomb. I'm not saying that to use that. I'm just saying this man is unpredictable. The president is unpredictable. I wouldn't discount any possibility. That's all I'm saying. I am not for using nukes at all. Let's make that clear. As long USA directly aiming at them and worry for the civilians, they're more than willing for the sacrifice if it means freedom in the end. I understand that. I understand that even if we hit their infrastructure, Iranians are not going to, they're suffering as it is. They're not going to be so overly concerned about losing their power at this point because they just want their fucking freedom and they want the regime to fall. I get that. I mean, they will cheer if Israeli planes are hitting the regime. The vast majority. I get that. But still, the U.S. would only use it on military, like pickaxe. Exactly. It's not going to be in populated civilian areas. They're going to use it in military sites, like in the middle of the mountains or in the desert. Because like you said, we had this conversation. How long before the radioactivity dissipates? A few days? It's not like it's going to be saturated with radiation for decades, hundreds of years. No. That's what I think a lot of people, when they hear tactical nuke, they think it's like something like that. Trump should make Pickaxe Mountain a valley and knock out their power grid. Explain that the desalination plants are next. This is my armchair quarterback opinion. Bong water. But see, your opinions matter. It's we're just having a conversation. Problem is, using a nuke in the ground makes the entire area into a hand grenade made of earth. We are just stuck between a rock and a hard place, plain and simple. Right now, we're in a stalemate. We're stuck. Right now, we're stuck. Nukes can't happen. The U.S. is the only country ever to use nukes. If the U.S. uses them again, they would lose all credibility around the world. Could have been much worse. Oh, he's talking to all up in here. Much as many dangers Trump has, yes, definitely. Balls. I'll just say it. Going to Dover Air Force Base hurts Trump the most. Everything else is collateral damage. If the Islamic regime was more capable, then they would take the fight to your ground too. And I know that the president said what was going on with these cyber attacks were coming from within. That could have been a sign too, because it wasn't just there; it was in other places too. Careful, because it's in some of these reports. They have the capacity to do some major damage with their cyber. Do not underestimate that. Do not underestimate the cyber attack threat. And also the psychos out here somewhere floating around in the country. Do you really think he's a deep thinker? I don't think he can play regular chess. If it's pragmatism, if you're being pragmatic, it's like, this isn't working, so maybe we need to take a different course, we need to look at other options. I heard, and I don't know if it's true, that the military was asking its own personnel about any ideas outside the box on how to approach the situation. I'm like, what was that? I don't know if that was true. I was like, what? I guess it's good to get their input, feedback. What are the updates we do got from Straight? Right now, the last I seen was they're still finalizing the deal, Oman and Iran. That was some parliament member said that this morning. I have not heard anything yet. As we discussed many times, more proof that all these countries are supplying each other as needed. Okay, I'm putting that up. Yes. I heard about that too. What North Korea and soldiers. I don't know if it's going to mention the soldiers part. Targeting Ukraine in Russia. They sent 120 ballistics. Russia is planning big attack against Ukraine in coming week and may target Ukraine with over 500 missiles to destroy critical infrastructure. So it looks like Putin is about to do the same thing in Ukraine that we're threatening to do in Iran. So, and 30,000 North Korean soldiers are being deployed more. There's all kinds of stuff going with this situation too. Crazy. Crazy. It's like fucking World War III. China? I still don't know. I don't know about the Taiwan thing. I really don't know. But could you imagine everything happening at once? Jesus Christ. Poland, the Baltics, NATO, Russia, ballistics to Ukraine, China moving on Taiwan, us with Iran. Oh my God. It's like a powder keg. Okay. General King questions whether Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar can be trusted. I totally agree. I totally agree can be trusted in Iran talks. The retired general called the mediators compromise and alleged Riyadh denied U.S. access to airspace on base. I never trusted any of them. Because you got to remember, MBS has a nice friendly relationship with Putin too. I don't trust. Without the United States involvement, which I'm sure really made Trump happy. Shipping groups warn Hormuz tolls could drive up costs and threaten free navigation. I saw that yesterday. I saw there was a statement by European, something to do with that, Martin. I read something about that yesterday. China has ground troops deployed in Ukraine, 100%. Look at that. Now that is interesting. Where would you need stronger players to be actually involved? I don't know how you cannot say North Korea, China, Russia, U.S. involved and throw in Iran as not major players. I mean, I'm not some Arabs, countries, Israel, and USA. No, but that's just one problem that's going on, right, Amir? There are other issues going around in other places. The focus we've been really talking about here is the Middle East situation, but Ukraine's been going on for almost 5 years with Russia. China has its eyes set on Taiwan and has had its eye on Taiwan for God only knows how long. This stuff that's going on, which I cannot confirm because I don't trust anything. What's going on the border, Belarus, Russia, with NATO, Poland, Baltic countries, that's another thing to keep an eye on. There's all kinds of stuff going on. That's just to name a few. Look at Africa. Look at all the unrest in Africa itself. India, Pakistan, Australia, China. Should I keep going on? There's all kinds of tension in so many different places. Even here in South America. So I see stuff going on all over the place. Let's see what you guys are writing. Iran charging 1.5 to 2 million per ship to pass. Is this confirmed? Is this the agreement? What's going on? Where are you guys getting this from? All up in here. Where's that coming from? When they start to bomb each other in order to win, wake me up. I've said this 1,000 times too. Israel knows what needs to be done. Go after the regime. Go after the IRGC. Israel knows the mission. If you collapse the regime, everything falls into place. I'm telling you. If you go after the hundreds of parliament members, judiciary, Supreme Council, Assembly of Experts, IRGC, Navidi, whatever, you go after all these people, you cause total chaos, you destroy the government infrastructure, then you'll see something go down. In my opinion, Israel always had the right idea. In my opinion, as far as that's concerned. Since many wars in the past included business and support from different countries. The agreement is 7% Iran side, 3% Oman side. Oh, as far as like the splits, Martin? Or they would get, that's what their percentage of the tax would be? Or fee or toll, whatever. They get 7%. So it's 10% total. They get 7 of it. And Oman gets 3. Yesterday, the agreement was posted on several news. Unless I see it officially, I'm not going to feed into propaganda because that's what they want. The media will jump on it. The media will run with it. I'm going to be more cautious and careful and wait to see what really comes out. Because they just said this morning they're still finalizing, so I don't know. What's up, Butterfly? Yes, I heard that was leaked that the Pentagon was preparing for nuclear warfare between Russia and China. What? Related to this war? I've heard nothing, none of that. I've heard none of that. Yes, but do you think the U.S. will actually sign off on charging for passing through the Strait after saying repeatedly about free travel? No. No, he cannot. And that's why we might be dealing with this delay. They said no fees. How many times did we see that? No fees, no tolls. And that Iran cannot be in control of the strategic waterway, its international waters. How many times have we heard that? And now we're just going to sit by and allow this to happen? You think the president, it's a great question. Is he going to accept this so that the strait gets open and flip it like some other way? That no tolls are going to be charged for the first 60 days? That's what I'm saying. We have to see the details of the agreement, not just what they're putting out there, the final agreement, and I want to see it. Because the Iranians could be putting stuff out there to throw and see how it sticks. Look what just came out 21 minutes ago on Iran International. Turkish Foreign Minister, another one I don't trust. On Thursday, he hoped the U.S.-Iran talks would lead to a swift ceasefire and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. But the United States is not going to agree to this. I can't see them agreeing to this. The matter involves some complications related to the Strait. What are the complications related to the Strait? What is it? There are many technical details. Of course, Oman has a role to play. So wait, Oman has a role to play because that's the deal that they're making with Iran. This complicates the Strait issues because they're gonna. This is craziness. In other words, a 60-day process is being discussed. If worked on well within the 60-day process, a lasting agreement can be reached between the parties. This is delusional. This is fucking delusional. We know that on other matters outside the Strait, particularly on the nuclear issue, certain agreements in principle have been reached. Okay. So it's all about the Strait? Is that what you're saying? We know that on all other matters outside the Strait, particularly on the nuclear issue, certain agreements in principle has been reached. Until I see that shit signed and agreed upon, certain principles were reached with whom? Did the IRGC sign off on that? Did the cardboard mouse sign off on that? Did they agree in principle to this? This is the Turkish doing this is what they do. I don't trust anything. Nothing. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's always the same parties. So they were targeting Yemeni government emergency forces. Allegedly, 15 soldiers were killed and about 20 others injured in Houthi drone and missile strikes. Do the Houthis develop their own drones and missiles? Do they? They were threatening the entire region. Let's see what you guys are putting in here. Yes, the man pads. Yes. I think it was 400 of them, something like that. Let me see. Steve. What? Yes. Steve showed the letters on his stream. Is what letters? I didn't watch Steve. I don't know what letters you're referring to. Butterfly. If it's an official letter from somewhere, I would see that as credible. Steve is very careful. Steve is very careful to vet stuff, so I wouldn't discount what Steve put on his stream. He's very careful with vetting stuff that I'm aware of. U.S. is updating policies for use of tactical nukes for potential strikes, conflicts with China or Russia. Oh, okay, so that has to deal with China or Russia, not Iran. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's just... But this has to be done, I guess. Oh, boy. I don't even know what to say about that. It goes from tactical nukes to bigger nukes. You want to talk about escalation? Once you start using those against each other, then what? How does it stop? How do you... Oh my God. That's scary. That's scary. That's scary. Iran is rapidly reloading and reconstituting its missile and drone arsenals via underground facilities and restore production lines, according to the recovering its military strength much faster than initial Pentagon. I believe that. I believe they're doing everything underground and rebuilding. There's no question. That's why we can't underestimate that, Martin. Totally agree. A lot of these underground facilities have been re-accessed to, and they're doing shit underground. All this time since the ceasefire started, April 13th? Or whatever it was. They've been buying time. They're doing shit underground. There's no question. To what extent, I don't know. But we're just going to think they're not? IRGC claims we are reloading missiles and drones faster than before. That could just be rhetoric. Houthis expected to announce, yes, at 5:30 their time they were supposed to do it. Yes. I spoke about that earlier, Diesel. No, Butterfly, that makes sense. They have to prepare for that type of scenario. We'd be stupid not to. The nuclear strategy, as far as if we were to have confrontation with China and Russia, you have to have a plan in place, an option. That's makes sense to me. As technology goes, the world may really rely less on oil. Electric cars, clean energy, and new inventions could make oil less important and reduce the money and power it brings. Eventually, that's got to be addressed anyway, because it's not going to last forever. But I've also read this morning that they're really working on creating a pipeline through Iraq to Turkey, because they want to eliminate the Strait of Hormuz dependency. I'm reading a lot about that now. They're really working on creating alternative routes for oil to come out. They're really working on that. So it's less dependent on the strait. It definitely could be expanding dehydrated. No question. There's a threat of definitely expansion. Well, it was used to stop war. That was a long time ago. How many countries today have nukes? How many had them back then? It's like the strategy of having nukes is mutually assured destruction. That's where we're at now. Not what happened in Japan during World War II. This is totally a different time, different scenario. You know, okay, man, that's a little different now. Electricity is made from oil, gas, coal, and nuclear. Solar and wind are minor sectors and are unreliable. Unreliable depending if you're a person who is pockets aligned by fossil fuel. I can tell you with my solar panels, I save thousands of dollars per year without getting it from the utility. The problem is, though, unreliable as far as battery. But see, the same way, technology can advance that. That's what technology's importance is in that field. And it could make it more reliable. So, you know, depends on how you look at it and what the sources. I mean, fusion power, what type of power are we talking? You know. Thank God I got my solar panels when I got them. That's all I'll say. Thank God. Let's see. Nukes are a deterrent. Even publishing policy can be a deterrent. The question is if IRGC will strike the pipeline to prevent. Of course they can. Of course they can. How quickly can a pipeline... Anything is threatened. They can threaten the oil facilities themselves. It doesn't matter where the oil's going to, Gulf, there, here. If you hit the fucking refinery, it's over anyway. Not just the pipeline and everything else. They'll just go after the infrastructure itself. So they can try to come up with other ways to be less dependent on the Strait. And that, like you said, they'll target those too. They targeted, what was it? The Houthis targeted the East-West pipeline. So of course they would. I've never used one before, but because of that stream, my hurricane disaster kit that I already have, I bought a NOAA solar flood crank changeable. What? I kept my eyes of playing tricks radio. I've heard they're good to have. If whatever you think that you feel better, comfortable, safe with, go for it, Butterfly. If you feel safer with that, that's what matters. And for your family and everything else, absolutely. Don't let other people convince you on what they would, their opinion. You have to go based on what. Good morning, Napi. I have a small 100-watt solar panel for lights and situations. Solar panels and windmills are made from fossil fuels, and so is our fertilizer for food. Okay, that's one thing to have it. How much of it is used compared to how much oil I use and everybody else uses it to heat their homes or to drive around in their vehicles or planes and everything else, comparison to the production of solar panels. If that was the case, we probably have hundreds and hundreds of years left of those fossil fuels and everything else to use for that capacity. If I'm thinking of it logically, how much of it is used to make those panels compared to how much goes in your tank or my heat energy tank and everything else? The consumption comparison rather than production involvement. I don't know. I would have to do the research on that. Would you get a jet with solar panels? Nothing. It's all about the battery. A car doesn't have solar panels on it, or some actually, my trucks or something. It's about the power source it generates, the power to. It's about the battery. Like, I have yet to get a battery here because they want fucking insane amount of money for the battery. It's not about the panels themselves. It's the power it produces and how you can contain that power and make it useful. It's not about the panels themselves. It's the power they produce. Not that I'm going to fly around with a plane that has panels on it. Oh my God. Right now we are stuck with fossil fuels and nuclear, solar, and wind work okay for local consumption. Yeah. And I'm sure they're working on better sources of energy. That we may not be aware of. But you got to remember, why would they put out that technology if they want to milk the fossil fuel and the solar and wind as much as they can make money off of it before rolling out, look what we got now? They'll milk it till they can milk it to make money. Everything's about money. You're not going to see some breakthrough technology unless they milk out the others first. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's always about the money. If you were to come out with a groundbreaking technology today, what does that do to the rest of those industries? If somebody said you can run your house with H2O, with water, and buy a machine that can, and that machine is going to cost you a fortune. It's probably going to cost like a half a house, but it will forever produce free energy for you. I'm just using that as an example, but it's going to cost a lot for that technology, but it's definitely going to threaten the other sources of energy. So it's tricky. Yeah, putting a new nuke plant there in Oklahoma. Oil is still more efficient energy than solar. Shit, I wish that was true in my house. I wish that was true in my house. Oh my God, I wish that was true. Oh my God. Please, I wish that was true here. I can heat my house with my panels. I can chill my house with my panels. I can run all this electric stuff with my panels. Run my pool pump. But when it comes down to fucking winter and the sun is a little less and I can't run the electric for the heaters because it's now my heat electric is going to be drawing more from the utility, and now I got to use the oil to heat my home. Hell no. Absolutely not. Oil is the least efficient thing for me. Least. Especially at the cost. And right now, shit. It should be good now. I might fucking order oil today to fill my tank before the disaster hits. Holy shit, now that you said that, you reminded me. It costs me like fucking $700-800 every 6 weeks to fill up that oil tank for heat in the winter. That costs me $4,000-5,000 over the winter. I wish it was more efficient. You know how much I pay for my electric here? $44. Why? Because I have to stay connected to the grid and taxes. Otherwise, I'd be paying nothing. Nothing. But that's me. Not everybody fits that profile. Solar is not for everyone. It's not even efficient for everyone. Oh, fuck, it went up. Oil went up. I don't know why it's up. Fuck. I paid $4.49 for 100 gallons when the prices went down. Right now it's the lowest price here where I live is $4.67 a gallon for heating oil. That's the lowest price. I'm gonna wait. That means 100 gallons, 150 gallons would cost me $700. It tells me 150. I have a 250 gallon tank, and I probably have a little left. I'm gonna need 200 gallons. That's gonna cost me $1,400. Current price. That's why I keep a market watch too. What is WTI right now? Fuck. It went up. WTI is only 77.15. So these oil companies are playing the game. It's not reflecting it's not reflecting. I'm going to have to wait a week or two. Texas crude is 77. These prices should not be that high. This is bullshit. I am not happy about that. I do got to get my firewood too. I had a house in Florida. In Orlando. Right near 4. I couldn't stand Florida. I couldn't stand the heat. I like the cool. I like the cold. I'm not a heat person. But that's just me. We rented it out for a while, then we sold it. It was right near college, Valencia College. So we rented it out to students for a few years, and then we sold it. I found Florida very boring. I like outdoors. My favorite spot in Florida when I was living there was Cape Canaveral to go hang out and fish. Even the Banana River. I used to love going to see launches. I almost got eaten by sharks at Daytona. I have stories in Florida. And you can only go to the park so many fucking times. Oh my God. With your Florida license, at the time, I don't know if it exists now, you get a discount. You show your Florida license at any park. As a resident of Florida, you get a discount. I don't know if that still exists. But man, I said, I want to go home. I want to go back to New York. But that was me. There's a lot of people that are snowbirds. In New York, they go down there for the winter and then they come back. It depends on the person. You know. I don't care about any scale. I care what happens to me personally here in my home and what I pay out of my pocket, just like many Americans do. I couldn't care less about macroeconomic scale. I care about how it affects and how I have to pay out of my pocket every fucking day. That's what I care about. And I think a lot of people care about that. What is it out of my pocket? I couldn't care about the scale in Florida, Texas, anything else. What, I gotta move? I'm not being offensive to your cool hand, Luke. I get what you're saying, but I have to be concerned about my living conditions and what it costs me to survive. Like, the panels have increased the value of the house by 13%. So what? The batteries, it's like, I'm saving money on electricity. If I pay for a battery for thousands of dollars, that's money I would have saved the way it is now. Why am I going to spend thousands of dollars? That's not going to save me. I'm spending. That doesn't make sense to me. Now, when I have a power outage, which is rare now because they redid everything, I have a big ass 12,000 watt generator thing that's massive, and I plug it on the side of my garage. It's gas operated, and I'll run that. So, like I said, right now, I could check Enphase. The month is over of July. What a fucking hot month it was too. Actually, I'm gonna contact them. Let me see if I can log in. Sometimes I have problems logging in. I'm going out soon. I definitely used a megawatt last month. If I had to guess, I definitely used a megawatt of power. With the AC, the pool, everything else, forget it. This equipment is always on. There's so much shit. Wow, in phase. There we go. It's logging in. Now let's see if I log in. It's trying to log into my solar panels. On the phone, it's easy. The page is taking forever. Anyway. Okay, I'm looking at my live stream production. Energy for the month. We're gonna go. August just started. So I'm gonna snapshot this. This was updated 1 hour ago. Thank God. This is what I used for power last month, July. I actually still produced more than I consumed, which is fucking amazing considering how hot, how cray-cray it was this month. Oh my God. This is for the month of July. I produced 1.1 megawatts. I imported that, I exported that. The net gain is I exported for the whole month. I ended up on the positive. 153 out. I get credits for that with the utility company. So I produced more than I consumed. Actually, no. Wrong. I had to depend on them, the utility company, by 153. I consumed a lot. I only produced 1.1. I consumed this. So I ended up, depending on the grid, 153 kilowatts. So I'm going to pay for that. But look how much I consumed. But look how much I produced. Do you know what my fucking bill would be if I didn't have the panels and I used this much consumption of power? We're talking $600-700 for a monthly utility bill. I might pay $100. That's a lot of money saved. A lot of money. And that shit adds up. Let me see, June. June, I almost broke out even. I consumed 1.2 megawatts. I produced 1.2 megawatts, and I gave them 56.6 kilowatts. So I actually was in the plus for June. And we'll see what happens for August. So right now, because it's cloudy, even though I still get power, let me look at the real tracking. Status. Live status. Oh shit, I'm doing really good right now in the live status. It's too bad the window. I'm producing, it's fluctuating, 5.3 kilowatts I'm giving them 5. I'm only consuming 1.1 kilowatts right now because the pool's pump's not on, the AC's not on. Once all that shit goes on, the numbers will balance out. But right now I'm producing 6.0 kilowatts. I'm exporting 4.9. I'm consuming 1.1. That's real time. I'm looking at the real time status of the panels. It's fucking amazing. And it even tells me my production. And if I needed more panels, they installed them at no cost. If they see that it's not matching the levels that it's being effective, they will install more. I've got like 25, 26 panels. This is my array. And it shows you what they're producing in real time. That's my array right now. So they couldn't put panels here because that's where my chimney for the wood stove is. So they couldn't put none there. This is my garage. This is the roof over me right now. The one side over there, and this is the side above me. I have a big section of the house over here that hasn't even been tapped into yet. So this is what it is for me, and it works. That's what matters to me, dollars and cents, and how it affects my pocket. So I can't complain at all. Later, JC. Oh, well, you got that weather stuff in Oklahoma, of course. See, one thing about where I live, they definitely do a lot of great infrastructure maintenance here, whether it's the roads, power lines, they're on top of it here. It's like, you know when your tax dollars are going to work? When you see it, you actually see it being used. I'm like, good. This is what I want. I want to see the money that we pay in fucking taxes going to something locally for us. You know, otherwise it's like, I don't see anything getting done. The roads look like shit. When it snows, it's like immediate. They're amazing here. They are on top of it here. I have zero complaints. They're on it. It's like awesome. So we used to have the power outage issue. Until like the last few years, they've been doing a lot of maintenance with the trees because we don't have the power lines below ground here. That costs a lot of money. It's all above. But they did the due diligence to clear out the lines with trees that could be endangering them. And they did a hell of a job here. A hell of a job. AK Square has 2 acres and a ground pool bill, and some with 280, 300 power is cheaper. Yeah, it's different in different states. That's why I say it's not for everyone. It's different. The rates in New York City, Con Edison, are the most insane rates I've ever seen. That's just like COLA, cost of living. I could sell my house right now and buy a mansion down south. It's cheaper to live down there, less expensive. But I could sell my house for $500,000 right now and buy myself a fucking amazing house down south, somewhere. So, you know, the properties here are going crazy up. because it's in close proximity to traveling, park and ride to New York City for the people that work in the city. Everybody wants a piece of these properties. I'm not selling. I like it here. A lot of people are trying to get the properties here because of its proximity to the park and ride, to the train, Metro North, that goes into New York City. You think people want to live in New York City? A lot of them want to move to the rural areas, and they would rather pay for transportation in and out of the city than to live. First, the amount it costs to live in New York City is insane. Insane. For that, they buy a house up here and they commute to the city. Even though they may pay $120 a week for commuting, it's still cheaper than it would be to live in New York City. And you own a nice home instead of living in a fucking 2-bedroom apartment where you're paying $2,500, $3,000. Think of that. That's what it's like in New York City. It's insane. So every state is different, you know. I mean, my friend's house in New York City, it's worth over $1 million. And it's not a big house. It's just its location. And he doesn't have that much property. In New York, it's squishy. But yet, it's worth over $1 million. He's already talking, I don't want to talk about his business, but he's definitely, his father, I don't want to get into it, but he's got properties in Florida. He's got property in Germany. So he's thinking of retiring soon, and he's like, where am I going? Am I going to keep the house and buy, I don't want to get into his business, but he has a house, his father's house. He passed away. He's got a house in Florida. Paid for. This house is paid for. So he's thinking of doing the snowbird thing. Stay up here for the summer, go down there for the winter. Makes sense. God bless. You know? So it's different for everyone. If you ask my mother right now, which I'm not going to do, if we had a choice to sell this house and go back to Florida, see her answer. She was dying to get back to New York too. Dying. But it was harder for her. We have a lot of family in Florida. Still do. You know? What? Breaking. Houthis attack. Yep, that was earlier, Martin. And that's another thing too. Bang. It doesn't snow here like it used to. Everybody thinks it snows so a lot here. I used my snowblower 3 times last winter for slush, but there was one big storm. Like fucking 18 inches. We're supposed to average 36 inches a year here, snowfall. We haven't come close, except for last year with that one storm, in a decade. It just doesn't happen like that anymore. Our winters are a lot warmer. It'll snow and then it turns to rain. And then it's melted in 2 days. But, you know, it still snows. But not like it used to. When I first moved here 20 years ago, I was this close to buying a fucking snowmobile. Because there was snow everywhere. And there were people on the streets on my road with snowmobiles. I say, shit, do I have to buy one to get around? The last major snowstorm I remember was 2014, Valentine's Day. We got over 2 feet. Another bad storm was shortly thereafter. It was April. We had almost 3 feet. But it was a wet, heavy snow. We lost power for 4 days. Since then, I can't recall like a big storm. It's just not like that anymore. Not to say that we're overdue. We are. Now, the last 2 winters were seasonably cold, normal cold. People were like, oh my God, it's freezing here. Oh, that's fucking normal. That's the way it's supposed to be. You people are getting too spoiled about these 50 to 55 degree temperatures in the middle of winter. Stop it. That's not normal. And then people are crying, oh, it's cold. It's supposed to be fucking cold. You know? It's like, get a grip. But is it snowing? No. No, Bong, I want to. A bunch of myself and friends, we're going to get a cabin in Maine around the lake, but it's completely isolated and surrounded by miles and miles, acres of fucking woods. I still want to do that. I have friends that live in Maine. I would love to vacation there. I usually go to Montauk for vacation. That's my spot. But it's getting so expensive. Really, it's like $300 a fucking night. That's where I love to go, Montauk, fishing. That's what I like to do. So, but it's pricing me out. I'm not going for 2 days. I can't go to Montauk for 2 days. I gotta go for like 5 at least. That's like $2,000. $2,000 I could use a lot. I think about it like this way. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy myself if I spend five days, $2,000. But what could I have done with that $2,000? You know what I mean? It's like that. You start thinking, is it really worth spending that kind of money when I could use that money for other things? You know what I mean? It's like, for me, that's me. If I had lots of money, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm going to show you something. I don't remember what year it was. I'm going to try to find it. Then I'm going to get off soon because I got things to do. I got to mow my lawn. Let me see if I can find it. And you'll see if I find it. This is it. I have to download this video. I must download this video. This is Montauk. This is 2012. See that lady with the white cap? That's my mother. And next to her is her dear friend, Abraham. That's my mother sitting there. This is the Montauk Blitz in October for the striped bass. It's the most fucking amazing experience you can imagine. They're feeding on the fish, the stripers, before they make their way southward for the winter. This is the tip of Long Island, Montauk Point. And I don't know if you'll see me here. I'm in the water. This is fucking great. I love the fucking Blitz. I'm just going to play it. Look at the striper right in front of you. All you do is do a super strike. You throw over it. You reel in. You're going to hook them. If you don't catch a fish in that craziness, something's wrong. Then you have a problem. But I have all the equipment. I am a great surf caster. That's Montauk Point. That's the lighthouse. And you're going to see a person in red, maybe. I'm going to let it play. There's Mom. I'm out there with everybody else. I just don't know if it shows me. That's another thing with the boats. Oh my God. They come in so close and you're casting and it's like, get the fuck out of the way. They get really close. Look at them. They're all thirsty. for the same thing we're going for. This is why I love Montauk. Bass fishing. Let me see. I'm seeing if there's a clip of me. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Wait. Fuck. It's, there I am. That's me right here. In the red. That's me. I'm waiting for him to get off the rock. You gotta wait. See the two of us by the side of the rock? That is my rock. Well, it's everybody's rock. But once he gets off, if I don't catch one, which I did, then either the guy next to him or me get that rock next. Everybody wants to stand on that fucking rock because you have a better, to cast and all that. But I caught one. Look how close the fish are to us. Isn't that amazing? That is not far from the Montauk Project thing, Camp Hero. But that's me in the red. That's why Mom is sitting on the beach, waiting for me to catch my fish. And legal at the time, I don't know what it is now, was 28 inches. And I used to do reports for the conservation. At that time, I took it very serious. I would make a report. And yes, I snitched. I fucking snitched on what was going on there by people. And I didn't like it. Because I took that shit serious. That after I made the report, there was a presence in the parking lot by DEC. If they catch you in illegal fish, they can give you a fine, they can confiscate your car. They take that shit very seriously, the law. You know what I noticed what people are doing? And a lot of them were from South America. Just telling you the way it is. That's the fact. They were catching the fucking undersized fish, right? You know what they were doing? Gutting them, filleting them, putting them in plastic bags, leaving the carcasses there on the beach so they wouldn't be caught with the fish going to their cars that was undersized. And I was like, this is not fucking flying with me. So then they started to patrol the beaches during the Blitz. The Blitz is like a week long. It can happen in the first, second week of October. It really depends on the water temperature, believe it or not. That's when the fish know when to make the move. So I reported it. I had to report it because at that time, that was 2012, the striped bass population was starting to become under threat. Not just from commercial fishing, obviously, but from people that were doing stupid shit like that too. So I decided I need to take action on this. And I did. For the species. It was the right thing to do. And you better believe I fucking snitched. Because, like I said, they were coming up. You got to see these crazy people. Like, I'm in the water in that video. If you look at the video, there's fuckers behind us casting over our heads. That's dangerous. See the couple of guys behind me? Well, what do you think they're casting? Over me, reeling it in, past me, tangling my fucking lines up. That's and I'm using spider wire. Um, spider wire can easily get tangled, and if it does, you got to cut it. You are not just got to cut it. And my lures are expensive. My equipment's expensive. A Super Strike lure is not cheap. You know, I'm investing my time and money to be there, and you clowns are behind me doing this crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? I think they have a lot of improvements to do on those electric cars besides charging. Why are they catching? Absolutely. Whenever you have some kind of technology that they're working on, and there's always room for improvement. Always. Always. The point is, you just don't stop because it's expensive now. You are trying to make it where it's affordable, and you're improving on the technology to make it competitive as an alternative energy source. That's the bottom line. You know what I mean? Just because you just don't stop. China's not stopping. South Korea's not stopping. Europe's not stopping. They're looking to capitalize on our lack of doing it. They're looking to capitalize on that same market. So we're either ahead of the curve or behind the curve. And a lot of it is political. A lot of it is political. So I always say, fuck the politics. What's practical? Because everybody seems to go with the political thing. You know? The Democrats, the green energy, Republicans, fossil fuel industry. I mean, it's become a political thing more than practicality and looking toward the future. So, who knows? Let me see what you guys are getting back to this. Oh, you had the same issues there with different types of fish? Fortunately, our game wardens keep a close watch and don't play around with all those fools doing that. For real, man. For real, Diesel. That shit pisses me off. Pisses me off when I see shit like that. They can easily add charges to the reels. Wow, that's an interesting concept, Diesel. Yeah, but see, again, with that risk, it could actually cause other risks like fires and stuff like that. I see what you're saying though. But then they lose money from all the charging stations they put in all around. But that's what it's about. It's about somebody suffers money loss. And you got to think, who's in control of everything that goes on? These big fucking corporations. You think they want to lose out? Really? You still have... I had my pen. I have my pens in the garage. I love my pen wheels. I got a fucking pen that is like massive for the surf casting. It's massive. It's beautiful. I have different types, for different things. I saw a picture of a Tesla in Russia. I saw a picture with a gas generator in trunk. Like, see, if I had a solar vehicle, they were going, because they asked me when they put the panels in, do you have a electric car? I said, no. Oh, because we would have put a plug in for your vehicle. I was like, fuck. I could have charged my car with the fucking panels. They were going to do it for me. But I don't have a fucking electric vehicle. Now, I guess if I ever did, I can call them and say, you told me that you would do this. You have two reels from the 70s you inherited. Like I've got pictures of me and the striped bass and all that I've caught, but I'm not gonna go look for that. I'm actually gonna go and mow this lawn because we might have not severe. We might have heavy thunderstorm or two later. I'm actually gonna check that now. Let's check windy. I want to get Alexa. What's the temperature?
It's 86 degrees right now, but feels like 103. Today's high is 89, with a low of 70.
Super humid out.
Heat advisory in effect.
Heat advisory is in effect.
With heat index values up to
Oh
100
shit!
expected.
It's hot out there. I didn't realize how hot. It's 12 o'clock. I'm going outside. I'm going in some water. Alexa, what's the weather right now?
Right now, it's 86 degrees and cloudy with 80% humidity. Winds coming from the west-southwest at 2 miles per hour. Heat advisories in effect until Friday evening with heat index values up to 100 expected.
And what's the heat index right now?
Right now, the heat index is 103 degrees. That's what it actually feels like outside with the humidity.
Holy shit! Any chance of thunderstorms today?
Oh yeah, you're in for a show. There's a 64% chance of a heavy thunderstorm this afternoon, plus another 33% shot tonight. Looks like your thunderlighter's gonna get a workout.
And what about tomorrow?
Tomorrow's still hot and stormy. High of 88 with a 70% chance of showers and a heavier thunderstorm in the afternoon. Heat advisory is still in effect too, so keep that thunderlighter handy.
Yeah, I better take advantage now while I can. Let me just check Telegram one last time.
Absolutely. With those thunderstorms rolling in this afternoon, you'll have some prime listening material for that thunderlighter.
Alexa, stop. Uh-oh. Here we go. A little information coming out. Member of the Presidium of the Iranian
Was that for me?
No. Alexa, stop. Of the Iranian Consultative Assembly Salimi. It is prohibited for ships belonging to the United States, the Israeli entity, and other hostile countries to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. No shipments related to the Israeli entity, whether military or non-military, will be allowed to pass through the region. The ban will also include ships or shipments that contribute to actions targeting the resistance front. Countries and individuals that have caused damage to Iran will not be granted permits to transit through the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf until compensation is provided. Here they go. Substantial financial penalties will be imposed on those who violate the ban, potentially reaching up to 20% of the value of the shipment. There's their terms. There it is. Let me read that again. It is prohibited for ships belonging to the United States, the Israeli entity, and other hostile countries to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. No shipments related to the Israeli entity, whether military or non-military, will be allowed to pass through the region. The ban will also include ships or shipments that contribute to actions targeting the resistance front. Proxies. Countries and individuals that have caused damage to Iran will not be granted permits to transit through the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf until full compensation is provided. Substantial financial penalties will be imposed on those who violate the ban, potentially reaching up to 20% of the value of the shipment. You think the United States is going to accept that? No U.S. vessels allowed through at all? Whether military or non-military? Oh, they're fucking dead. They're done. Done. seeing if it's being put anywhere else. Oh, here's more from another Telegram account. Details of the initial draft of the strategic plan for managing the Strait of Hormuz. Now, this is unconfirmed. It's coming from the other side. Soleimani, a member of the Presidium of the Consulate, the Consultative Assembly, the initial draft of the Strategic Action Plan to ensure the security and prosperity of the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf is under review by the National Security Committee. According to this plan, the passage of ships belonging to the United States, the Zionist entity, and other hostile countries through the Strait of Hormuz is prohibited. Shipments related to the Zionist entity, whether military or civilian, are not allowed to pass through the area. It's almost the same language. It might be a different translation. It's having the ban is also includes ships and shipments, what we just read. It's the same thing. Except this part, not at the end. The government, in cooperation with the armed forces, will be responsible for tasks such as navigation guidance, monitoring ship traffic, and protecting the security environment of the Persian Gulf. There it is. It's starting to come out from the Iranian side. There it is. That's it. They're done. That's sealed. Like somebody just put John. They sealed their fate. Was it John? Oh no, it was Bong. That's it. It's coming out all over there. It's slowly dripping out right now on all their media accounts. They're trying to get ahead of it, so if the United States tries to spin it another way, they're trying to get it out there so people know what the hell they're saying. It's crazy. But that's what they do. They always do that. Nothing on that. No. 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 Guys, check around. The Israeli media is not picking up on it yet. Reuters. Iran is seeking to impose transit fees ranging from 5 to 7%. Somebody mentioned that in chat. Of the value of goods for ships passing through the strait. In contrast, Oman is demanding lower fees, like somebody said, 3%. And it's saying it here, around 3%, while Washington insists on not imposing any fees at all. Oh, this is going to get ugly. And what is it, Thursday? Oh, it could light up this weekend after the markets close. Oh, shit, yeah, it could light up this weekend. Let's see what the president says now. Now let's see what the president says. I hope he doesn't try to spin this and allow this to go through. I can't see how he could allow this to happen. It fucking better not happen. I'm telling you that right now. This is absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable, period. I don't care. You guys accept this? All right, so international's usually slow. Let me go to Shin. This is not acceptable. Shin's not reporting anything about it yet. Only the Iranian regime accounts on Telegram. But they're repeating it. I have to, do the translation. Oh. Well, they sure are putting shit out. Reuters put that out yesterday. That's what Steve was writing. Proposed Hormuz deal will give Iran control of inbound traffic. Oh, but here's more. Under the Strait of Hormuz deal currently being discussed. They might be a little late to the game because the Iranians are coming out with other stuff now. Iran is seeking transit fees. We already read how much. Oman, we already know. Oh, this is what somebody put in chat. They used this. It's the same thing that was they put in from Reuters about the $150 million worth of oil. A fee equals to $7.5 million per ship. Iran could make $45 billion in tolls annually. $45 billion a year in charging tolls. Holy shit! Absolutely not. Hell no, no. Thank you, Diesel, as always, all of you, for putting the links. I hate to sound like a pessimistic person, but I think Trump will cave. I hope you're wrong too. Moses, oh my God. Fatux, what's Fatux putting? And then I'm going to get off and see how this plays out for the rest of the day. Oh yeah, the same thing, yeah. It's spreading. It's spreading. It's starting to spread on social media. It's not even about this, but this is important. But no U.S., Israeli, other countries allowed through the Strait thing. That's catching my attention. What? You're not going to allow any U.S. vessels from entering the Persian Gulf or the Strait? Whether they're military or non-military? Who the fuck do you think you are? He cannot accept this. Just that alone, he cannot accept. If that's true. Yeah, Rubio said that. A lot of them said they'll never be able to pay. That's not acceptable. Even the president has said that. If anybody's going to be paying tolls, it's going to be paid to us. Remember that? If any tolls are going to be paid, it's going to be paid to us. And even in that case, he wouldn't. I don't know. Do you believe 006 Trump is going to cave in? I hope he doesn't. But I mean, he might want this deal so bad just to get the Strait open. But it's not even about opening the Strait now. It's Iran is completely controlling the Strait and its movements. That is unacceptable. The president cannot allow that to stand. That Iran is now claiming total control and on top of it charging fucking fees or tolls or whatever. That's not acceptable. And saying that U.S. ships, whether they're military or non-military, cannot go through? What? That's not acceptable. That's like fucking you're asking for surrender. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, clone player. Lots of AI stuff gonna come out. You know how that is. You know that. You know that. It effectively bans the West from the West. Bans the West unless they pay for damages? Yes. Compensation. Trump has never signed a bad deal I can recall. Well, let's see if he accepts this bullshit. They are asking us to abandon our bases. Again, that too. Luke, same shit. We have to withdraw from the Middle East? If allowed there, every other country starts charging. Yes, that's the precedent about straits. I hope Trump doesn't, but I just see he doesn't want to be there. Look how long we have been going back and forth trying to figure it out, what Trump is going to do. But again, this is something he cannot accept. But then again, this is what the Iranians are saying. Is it true? We have to wait till the final, that's why I keep saying it. We have to wait till the final agreement is announced and released, both by all parties. I want to see the U.S. version. I want to see the Iranian version. I want to see if they match up. and then we can draw conclusions. But right now, it's all talk, speculation. But this is it's spreading. This is spreading these things, terms. Yeah, it's unacceptable. We cannot allow. What, we can't put our fucking ships through the Strait of Hormuz or in the Persian Gulf? Are you crazy? I agree, cool. I agree in a way. Cool. I said that the other day. Can we just get this done and move on with our stuff in this country and worry more about domestically what's going on and dealing with the issues on our fucking border, Mexico and other places, you know, like really the serious threats here and the homeland here directly. You know what I'm saying? I agree. If that means some surrender, let's just be done with it, gone with it, end this fucking nonsense, and let's just move on. I said that yesterday. If that's the way you want it, I mean, you can still spin it as a victory. It's open. You set Iran back fucking many years in their missiles and Navy and Air Force and all that, drones, all that. And the ultimate thing is still here is to resolve their nuclear file, and that's what this is all about. You could spin it that way. You know? You could. And Iran will be victorious. They'll say, oh, after all this is said and done, yes, we survived the great Satan's assault, and we survived, and we have the control of the strait now. They're going to withdraw base. Their people from there, we got them to leave the Middle East. They're going to spin it as their own victory too. Both sides are going to spin it as a victory. Maybe we just let this shit go, let it go by, and just fucking move on. I'm just saying. That's another way to look at it. I'm just saying. Israel has they said no Israeli ships whatsoever. Completely. Blocked. Nothing. Nothing. No Israel vessels whatsoever or linked to Israeli entity at all is to go through that strait. Period. Complete ban on Israel too. What temperature is this turn sand to glass? It is ridiculous. He's never going to accept this. The president's never going to accept this. Yes, I agree with Luke. He needs to stop talking, realize what he's dealing with here. Terrorists that you can never talk to and never come to an agreement with. Don't you see their track record? Look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. Enough is enough. The president needs to act and whack these fucks. Period. That's it. Done. No more talking. No more talking. You know, when you do things, you say, we'll talk when you surrender. Or there's no more time for talk. Talk is over. Time for action. Now we'll talk when we're ready to talk. You don't set the terms. We're going to dictate the terms. And it looks like it's been flipped the other way. That has to change. It seems like Iran is trying to dictate what goes here, there, whatever. No. We need to change that. We need to change that fucking soon. And the president needs to stop talking and do something now. That's enough talking. Because they're looking at that as weakness. Every time he threatens, he does nothing. Stone Age. Bridges and plants, remember that? Every time they blow it, they strike or damage a tanker, we're going to hit a power plant and a bridge. An overpass? I mean, fucking seriously, stop. I'm going to hit him as hard as anything seen since World War II. Stop talking. Take action. Enough is enough. You look weak. Take action now. You are the most powerful person in the fucking planet. Show it. Act like it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what's up, Chris? Who? I'm not saying. I did not say I want to surrender, Moses. You mistook what I said. I mean, there's many people out there that would say, fuck it, let's just cut our losses, walk away, move on with the country. I always wanted to finish this job from day one. Finish the job, finish the job, finish the job. From day one. And this is day one before the massacres occurred. We need to get rid of this regime. Get the job done. That's the true job. Get this fucking regime eliminated. Because this is never going to go away. It's going to rear its ugly head. And if you have a next administration that is weak and won't deal with the situation, Iran will have a nuke. If they don't have one already. Secretly. Whether internally or help from China or Russia, God only fucking knows. I don't think they, but you cannot say that they, for 100% certainty that they don't. There's no way I would say that. Because they're so fucking deceiving and untrustworthy that you cannot trust anything. They could be talking to them over the nuclear file while building one. And then walk out the deal and say, oh, we're not agreeing. By the way, we have a nuclear bomb now. I can't, but again, what's done? Eugene. Again, let's just see. I'm gonna get off now because the time is ticking, and I got things to do outside. Let's see what happens. Let's see if the final agreement is made, announced, released. We need to see the wording. We need to see the agreement because this is what Iran propaganda is putting out there on numerous accounts on Telegram, but they're very similar in the language. And yes, the Yemeni fucking psycho. He even looks psychopathic. Look at him. This guy looks psycho. They released the statement. How this guy is still walking around and doing what he's doing is beyond me. But the statement was released. I'll just read it because it's out. As part of its continued aggression and siege against the dear Yemeni people that has lasted for nearly 12 years, we have observed large Saudi military buildups in their final stages, aimed at escalating the aggression against the liberated provinces, Houthi-controlled Yemeni people. Our armed forces preemptively conducted a large-scale and precise military operation targeting Saudi troops concentrations in these different areas that they put, and other military camps belonging to the so-called 1st and 3rd Emergency Divisions, using a large number of ballistic missiles and drones. We assure our dear Yemeni people and all governance that the armed forces are fully prepared to confront and deal with any escalation. We call upon all our people to remain vigilant and confront any Saudi aggression and to strike Saudi troop concentrations wherever they may be observed. We will continue the siege for siege equation until the unjust siege against our country is permanently lifted. So it looks like they launched a major fucking attack earlier. Yeah, the Yemeni guy, the Yemeni yeller. He looks crazy, doesn't he? I've always said that, and hello in Portugal, I've always said that. He needs to stop doing foreign diplomacy on Truth Social. He really needs to stop that. They need to stop talking because Iran is doing things to embarrass them. When they come out with their statements, Iran is seeing it and they're saying, oh no, we're not doing that. And then it makes like egg on the face. Like, remember, we're going to have a deal Tuesday. Tomorrow's the deadline. It passed. Oh, Benson says yesterday. No, the day before yesterday. It's probably going to happen today or maybe tomorrow, Wednesday. Wednesday passes. Nothing. They look stupid because Iran is seeing this and they're saying, who are they to dictate when the agreement's going to be done? We're still negotiating with Oman and they're saying it's going to happen today or tomorrow. And Iran's going to say, hold on, we're going to put the brakes on that to make them look stupid and foolish. And they look foolish when they make these statements. Stop talking in the media. Stop trying to use the media for whatever reasons. Do it behind closed doors. Get it done that way. But every time you open your mouth, they're watching and they're going to try to embarrass you. Do you not get that? Do you not understand that? Because that's exactly what they're doing. They're purposely delaying it, postponing it. And they're also calling his bluff. Oh, if a deal is not done tomorrow, I'm going to hit them with devastating airstrikes. Didn't happen. No deal was announced. A couple of ships have already been targeted. Cargo ship, oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman. For every ship they hit, we're going to strike a bridge and a power plant. Have you seen CENTCOM doing any activity since? No. Why? Because they want this fucking deal so bad. They're holding back. But that's it. Enough's enough. He has to act. He has to act. Now we're going to give the Strait to fucking Iran? Are you not going to act on that? Oh my God. And Iran is viewing this as absolute weakness, that he's all talk. That's all he is. And they're going to keep pushing the envelope because he's going to do more talking with no action. And they're going to keep pushing it. At some point, you've got to shut them up and show them the only thing they respect, and that's force. My God. So that's my 1 cent. He's got to act. If this is true, and that's the language of what's coming, he's got to do something. He cannot just spin this and say, oh, the Strait is open. That's the main objective. Oil is flowing. What? What about those conditions? I would be a reporter. Can the U.S. travel through the Strait of Hormuz? Whether with U.S. civilian vessels, U.S. flag vessels, or vessels that are associated with the United States? Are there going to be fees? There's going to be some kind of compensation by the countries that they deemed that were against them, and they got to pay some compensation? Like, can we find out the details? Or are they just going to say, oh, no, everything's fine. The Strait is open. It's open. Just to get to a fucking deal. 60-day ceasefire. I'm really curious. I say no. I say the president takes action now. But the same way I've said that, I haven't been shocked on other shit happening too in the past, because it has happened. Just as I thought something was about to happen, the flip side happens. So I'm not surprised at anything at this point. I just hope he does the right thing and does not accept these conditions, these terms. He cannot accept this. Under any circumstances can he accept this. If he tries to spin this and accepts this, I am so fucking done. I am so done. I'm done. If he accepts this Oman-Iran arrangement, if it's true what we're seeing and I read to you, and he accepts this, we have a fucking problem. We have a problem with the president. That's when shit's gonna get scary. Because it's got to be, you're gonna have to question, why holding up? Why are you holding up? What is it? Is it the munitions? Is it that they have a fucking dirty bomb or a nuclear bomb that we're not aware of? The public is not aware of what's going on behind the scenes? What is it? What's stopping you? Because then it won't make sense. He cannot accept this. Then it's going to be the speculation is, why did he go with it? What's up? What is going on for real? That's going to open up a lot of questions for me. You know? What did Diesel put? Art of war, we're talking like accepting and then strike hard when they're distracted. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. That has been the hopeful thought process for the last 4 months since the ceasefire was put in place. I've heard that same comment mentioned over and over again. How long does that stick? That we're going to talk to them, keep them engaged, distracted, and then hit them hard. Surprise attack. You know how many times I've heard that in the last 4 months since this ceasefire fucking got into place? Too many times. How long does that last? That logic. I hope you're right. But it sure isn't the first time I've seen that, Diesel, and you know it. You know it. That's what a lot of us are hoping for. So, let's see. I hope you're right. But I won't be surprised by anything that comes out of this now. I really won't. Yeah, he does need rest. The president needs to rest. He needs to be stop. They need to stop with the Truth Social. In the first administration, I was like, stop it with the tweets. Now it's this. Cool out, chill out, don't talk, don't say anything. The silence right now is better. Don't say anything. Do something. Don't say anything. Keep them fucking guessing because they're watching your Truth Social. They're watching your Fox News appearances. They're watching your signings of executive orders. They're watching any rally you might do out there somewhere. They're watching everything you say. Don't give them anything. Uh-oh. Here it is. Far as just putting it out. All right, hold on. And this is coming from Fars. But this is being prepared by the Iranian parliament. This is not part of the deal between. This is in addition to the deal with Oman and Iran. The parliament is coming up with this. This is separate. Oh, it's coming out all over now. It's called the Strategic Control of Hormuz Act that the parliament is preparing to pass. Here's what they're writing. 1. The passage of vessels belonging to the United States, Israel, and other hostile countries through the Strait of Hormuz will be prohibited. 2. Shipments related to Israel, whether military or civilian, will not have the right to transit the Strait of Hormuz. 3. Vessels or cargoes that play any role in actions against the resistance front will also be subject to the ban. That's their proxies. 4. Countries and individuals that have caused damage to Iran will not receive permission to pass through the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf until compensation is paid. 5. Heavy fines, including up to 20% of the value of the cargo, are planned for violators. 6. The government will assume responsibilities such as guiding navigation, monitoring vessel traffic, and protecting the security and environment of the Persian Gulf in cooperation with the armed forces of the Islamic Republic. Now it says here underneath, this draft is still in the review stage and the parliament has asked experts to submit their suggestions for completing it. So the parliament has made this. This is nothing to do with the Oman-Iran thing. This is happening within Iran itself. The parliament is making this, and now it's going to the higher ups for them to look at and make any changes or suggestions to complete it. This is what the Parliament of Iran is doing. The same fucking people that we think there's moderate people in it. Like the Ghalibafs and others. How stupid are we thinking that we can negotiate with these people? I mean, that's why it makes me sick in my stomach every time that we think we're going to... J.D. Vance and Witkoff and Kushner are talking about meeting with their mediators and talking to the Iranians. They're reasonable, they're moderates, they're this, they're changing. No. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop. Full stop. Don't do that. You cannot negotiate with these people. Any of them. Because even though you might think you're talking to one, the need of the many outweigh the need of the one. The one has nothing to fucking do with any of this. The rest of the ones that are going to be the ones that make the decision, not just the one or the two or the three. Stop it. I agree, Luke. Call the IRGC bluff now. Do it now. Don't say a fucking word. Don't make any statements. See what they're saying and say, that's it. This is what they said. Don't say a word. Don't say a word. Don't respond to it. Don't have anybody else out there responding to it. Rubio or whoever. Silence. This is the time for silence. U.S. should say nothing. Strike. That's your answer. Strike. Now. Maybe not now. Maybe on weekend. Strike now. Don't even fucking say anything. Enough talking. You know what I'm saying? That's it. These are how many times we've been saying that. Take out the whole fucking regime. The parliament building. All of them. How many times? Like I said, the Israelis knew what to do from day one. That was their plan. Enough's enough. No more talking. No more talking. I would not respond to them. If this is true, what they're planning in Parliament and the Oman-Iran thing in combination to this, no more talking. Exactly. Speak with action now. Don't talk. Don't respond to them. Make them think. Make them think you're thinking. Why the delay? Why no post by the president on Truth Social? Why isn't he saying anything on Fox News? Why isn't any of them saying anything? Keep them fucking guessing. How's that? How's that? Do you know what I mean? We need to take that approach. No more talking. We'll speak with our action, not just with words. This is way over fucking due. And I am not a warmonger. I am not a war hawk. I'm just saying, this is it. This is the only way we're going to get. And I know it's hard to say this. It is. Nobody wants to see people die and war extended and all that. But we're at a point now that Iran is really, really pushing it to the point where they look like they're in control. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. As a fucking United States, just as being the United States, to even have that appearance that Iran is holding the fucking cards and they have the upper hand here is unacceptable. You are the president of the United States. You better change that. Now. Now. Enough. It's early. I'm going to get off for now because my blood pressure just probably shot up. Anybody, keep me in the loop. You know, some of you know how to reach me. Keep me in the loop. I'll keep an eye. Let's see what happens by the end of the day. If we do get a final agreement announced from Oman and Iran, keep an eye on this stuff. And then if anything's officially announced, then we have to see the responses. by the parties. And then we take it from there, or lack thereof a response. But you know they're not gonna. You know that there's gonna be a response. The administration, someone's gonna make a response. If it were me, I would have no response. That's just me. I would have no response, and then have a fucking attack them, and then say, due to Iran's whatever, this was their offer. Show the American people. This was their offer. This was unacceptable. Show the people. This is something that is just not possible. This is not acceptable. So we took action in response. I warned them. I gave them many opportunities to reach a negotiation, a deal here. And this is what they came back with. And he's been saying it. They have a history of doing this. Saying one thing and doing another behind the closed doors. Well, here's what they offered. Here, American people, this is what they wanted. That's why I took action. Keep it like that. Simple, straight, blunt. That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? Enough's enough. Enough's enough. Enough's enough. Yeah, it'll be too late. It'll be too late, Lewis. It'll be too late. You can't wait. You can't sit on this. You don't say later, why didn't we do nothing before? Well, we had the opportunity to before, but all you morons were saying don't do anything, and now you're all gonna bitch and complain that shit is hitting the fan. Why we didn't do anything? Because there's people like you that said not to do anything. So don't say anything fucking now. You know what I mean? I get it. What is? Yes, I agree, Diesel. They're like, we're gonna tell the enemy that something. Oh God. Exactly. What good are deadlines if you don't foreclose on the IDC? Absolutely. As far as news, the northern and southern routes will be eliminated, and a new middle route will be formed in the Strait of Hormuz under Iran-Oman management. Well, you got to clean the mines first. That could be a delay tactic just to say that, because it's going to take time to remove those mines, and say now it's going to be in the middle. So that keeps the strait closed while they do the maintenance of removing those mines. So the strait remains closed. That's a game. That's a fucking game right there, Smokey. They're trying to redo the routes. To say the south route is closed, the north route is closed, we're going to clean up the middle and get that open, and that's how it's going to run from now on. That's a game. That's a fucking game right there in itself, because they know that that's not possible right now with all the alleged mines that are sitting in the middle of the fucking Strait of Hormuz. So right there, that's a game. That's a delay game. And we have to be hip to this. We have to be smart to this. Yeah, this is... I'm going to get off because I got to get out. I'll be back later. Keep me in the loop. Let's see how this develops throughout the afternoon. And a lot of this is still speculation and talk. We need evidence. We need to see when this is officially released and what the wording is, and see what the responses are afterwards. But right now, they're putting a lot of shit out there. And it's the propaganda they expect the media to run with and for us to discuss here, because they're probably watching us right fucking now talking about it. Know what I mean? Yeah, this is crazy. Anyway, I'm getting off now. See everybody later. Be well, be blessed, be safe. God bless our troops, their families, our president, our country, all of you, wherever you are. God bless you, your families, all those out there. And I'm praying for everyone.